I'm up here in Ohio today. I was up here for the Deer and Turkey Expo, and so I thought I'd just stay an extra night, stop here at a property that I just got permission to hunt on. In fact, I deer hunted here last December and January. I hunted a big buck in here, and pretty much stayed in his area. Never did kill him. I've been actually looking for his sheds today. I was hoping to find his sheds, but a beautiful buck, and hopefully he survives and I can get back here next year and he'll be bigger and maybe I can get him. But also, I'm going to do some turkey scouting because they told me I could come back turkey hunting. I thought, woo, all right, that's even better. So I don't know much about this property. Now, even though I deer hunted in here, I pretty much stayed in one part of this farm because that's where that deer was hanging out. I've never really been all over this farm, so I don't really know much about it. Now, I know in today's world, okay, we have Onyx and all these apps with maps on it. And I understand that that has helped a lot of hunters. It's helped me. I use it every day. I'm a premium member. I really enjoy Onyx. I think they're great. However, now with that said, sometimes maps makes us lazy and we forget the old school of just getting out here and scouting the old-fashioned way because we think maps is going to lead us to turkeys. Now maps will help you kind of understand the area and kind of what's around the area and kind of understand the lay of the land sometimes. However, it's not going to tell you everything about how that land lays until you get out here and look. Now this property here, for example, on Onyx, it really fooled me. I mean, to be honest, I really thought it was a lot flatter and it was a lot, it wasn't this steep. There are some places in here that it's reminding me of Virginia, to be honest. It's kind of steep, and it kind of thrown me off a little bit. But as I've been looking around today and kind of going all over this farm and looking, I thought, okay, where do I start? And here's the question that a lot of people ask, okay, where do you start? Okay, Matt, where do you start? You go on a new piece of property, public land, private land, where do I start? All right, here's where I start. I'm going to give you a rundown right quick, so I'm going to go fast, so hang on. Number one, I find water. All life, all living things have to have water. All the way to a deer, all the way to a dove. Turkey, squirrel, raccoon, it doesn't matter. They all have to have water. So the first thing I do on any property is I find water. Now on this particular farm, it's kind of different because all the creeks is on the outside perimeter around the fence lines, around the neighbor's fence, okay? And it's not very far from the fence line, all over. Okay. Most properties you have a creek or you have creek drainages running through the property. That's not here. It's right around the outside perimeters. So anyway, I started there. Why? Because I want to see if there's any sign. You know, now there's all kinds of deer sign, but I already knew that. I want to see if there's turkey sign. I want to see if there's scratching. I want to see if there's, roost feathers. I want to see if there's tracks. I want to see in the mud if there's any sign of a turkey around. So I walked down through here, walked around this creek, went all the way around. That was the first thing I did. And looked for sheds. and I was walking, but I didn't see any turkey sign at all. Didn't see nothing around the water. But anyway, that's a good start because sooner or later they're going to be there. Okay? But what I'm trying to do is learn this property. Now, once I walked around and kind of seen the water, then I started moving inward. Now, sometimes you have to move outward. It depends on how the land lays. On this property, where it's all on the outside perimeter, I have to come in, to where I can hunt. So I started working in, okay? Now what fooled me about this property is kind of a lot of points and a lot of little dips. Not major dips, but a lot of little just dips and goes and it rolls like this. Lots of it in here. Okay, so I'm going to start working them. I started working the benches. I started looking around. The place that I found turkey sign on this property, I really, if I'd have been looking at Onyx and just going on that, it would have fooled me because on Onyx I figured all the turkey sign would be kind of around back in here on this part, around back in here about 200 yards. I didn't see nothing. The turkey sign is up here. Now you say, well, yeah, but it's March. Now when I come back up here in May, which you always come up in Ohio in late season, when I come up here in Ohio, it may be different. Well, it may be. But historically, where there's turkeys at in March, February, they're going to be in April or May. All right, they don't change very much. Now, with that said, they may be changed, but that's where you locate them and you go after them. But I'm going to find the water and I'm going to work in from there because I want to see what's around that water source first. Now, number two, I'm going to find the best access into that farm for turkeys and deer, but for turkeys. Pretty much, I guarantee you, down in here and down in here where I parked at, that is wide open. And even up in May, even after the foliage is on, there's this real good road that comes through here. You see that road? That road just comes right up through the whole thing. Now, most people, you know, in that video we did on shortcuts last week, you know, hey, the shortcut would be walking up this road, calling and seeing if you can strike turkeys. Okay, that would be the shortcut. Probably not the best thing on this farm, to be honest, because where you park at and have to walk up this road, man, right up in here and all up in there is probably where most of the turkey sign and probably where they're going to be mostly hanging out at anyway. So you're really going to be exposed. Even if the foliage is on, you're going to be exposed if they're on the ground looking down, or if they're up in a tree even. And let's just say it's a little bit open here and there through the timber, whatever the case. Don't know how many dead trees are in here, but it's just really taking a chance. Now, the best access that I have found, again, Onyx didn't show me this, I had to get out here and look, would be coming up this creek, going into this kind of messed up little jungle-like thing, and coming through here and coming right along in here and not disturbing any of this in here, and coming toward this top and already be up here where you're with the turkeys and you don't have to come up to the turkeys. All right, Onyx didn't show me that. It would have looked better to come up that way, but it's not. It's going to be better to come up this way and come in like that as an angle. That way you haven't disturbed anything during the mid-morning or at, before daylight. Because think about it, if you have to walk up through here, even on this road, it might be quiet, but if they're gobbling right here, man, you're really going to be exposed. And come daylight, you're taking a real. I'd rather be up here with them. I'd rather be up here with them, up toward this top, and that way I've got more to work with. But I wouldn't have known that if I just went on my maps. I had to get out here and look. So, in my opinion, I think the best access is to come through this jungle where the turkeys ain't going to be anyway, and come up it from this way. So I've learned that today. Okay, that's a check. So learn your access in. Learn the best way in there without spooking anything. Number three, and here's something that's debatable, and even some states don't allow it, which is stupid in my opinion, but I'm going to locate turkeys if I can. Now, I've been out here calling today. You say, oh my Lord, you shouldn't be calling. It's March. You shouldn't be calling. You're going to educate them. You ain't going to educate them, folks. Come on, turkeys hear turkeys every single day of their life. Guess what? Somewhere around here right now today, gobblers and hens are talking. Gobblers are gobbling, yelping. I'm sure one of them was gobbling this morning probably. They're just starting. I'm sure they're probably, hearing hens and clucking and purring right now as we're talking. All right. They're hearing other turkeys. If you sound pretty good, it don't have to sound great, but if you sound pretty good on a turkey call, they just think that's a turkey. You're not going to educate them. All right. What educates us is you getting out here and running up and down on a four-wheeler, coming up this road on a four-wheeler, parking right up here and getting off and trying to go through here and hunt. All right, that educates them. Or driving through an open field or walking through this open road, that educates them. But getting out here and calling, it's not going to educate them. But the reason I call is because I want to locate turkeys. I want to locate them. And if now I haven't today, I haven't heard any today, but if I heard some turkeys here, I'm going to mark where they're at. You say, well, you ain't going to be back up here till May, so they may not even be around here. They may not even be in the same spot. Maybe not. But however, let me tell you something. Where they're usually at, like I said before, right now, historically, that's historically where a lot of times they're at. So I'm going to make a mental note of that and say, okay, this is where they was gobbling when I was up here. This is where they was gobbling before. All right, so I'm going to mark that and say that'd be a good place to kind of keep in mind. And if I hear one gobbling, then I already know, because I've already been on most of this property, what it is, how steep it is, how flat it is. I kind of already know that without maps. Maps helps you, but it doesn't teach you everything about the lay of the land. That is the biggest downfall of turkey hunters, is they don't understand the lay of the land. And then they make the wrong move at the wrong time, and they spook the turkey. But see, today I'm just learning how this thing lays. Because a lot of this I didn't see deer season, I do now, but because I was just primarily hunting in a 200-yard area for that buck, because he was staying in that 200-yard area, and I was just primarily right in there. But a lot of this I haven't even seen, and man, what I'm seeing is some, really, really good turkey habitat. Now, there isn't any fields, or there isn't any ag on this property. It's all timber pretty much, and there's a couple of little green spots, fields down below where you park and you first come up. But this is all timber. All right, so that tells me that over here on Farmer Jones, on the back of this property, that's a pretty big old cornfield. What's going to happen by the time I get up here in May? Probably plowing it up, probably disking it, probably getting ready to, do his thing, plant, whatever. Okay, so plowed up fields means bugs, worms, all that. So I know that field's back there. If I hear turkeys around it, then I know already how flat it is, because it's really flat. It's really just flat right around that field on our side. So I know that's a really good area that I can sneak into from this way, not this way, because they see you coming this way, but come from this way. I've already learned that. You can't know that on a map, but you learn that. So I get out here and locate turkeys. I work the terrain, find out what's what, look for scratching, look for feathers, and make a mental note of that. You can't scout enough on these new properties. I know this sounds old school and I know it sounds simple, but in today's world, we overlook this stuff. We just look it on X or look at your favorite app and go, oh, okay, well that looks like a good spot, let's go there. But then you get there and it doesn't look like it does on the map. So I know this is a lot of, probably eye rolling, going, well, we already knew that. Yeah, but, a lot of people don't. And it causes them gobblers because they don't know the lay of the land. They don't know where to start to look. So right now in March, and when it's all open and you can see, learn your property. Get out there and learn it and find the sign. Make a mental note or make a note on your phone. Okay, here's where the sign was at. Then on opening day, you got a good chance of going in there and already being close to turkeys right off the bat, and you don't have to wait 3 or 4 days like I do a lot of times when I go to a new state and I have no clue where I'm going, and I have to go in there and try to find turkeys for a couple days and then wind up hunting them a couple days and then have to leave. So it makes it difficult. But when you travel and hunt, that's kind of the way many times it is. But when you have the opportunity to learn out here in March and February and locate turkeys with a turkey call, and if you locate them, mark where they're at, find the sign, find how the terrain lays. You can't learn any of that on a map, but you can learn it out here the old-fashioned way by putting boots on the ground and just going out there and looking. So take a lot of this advice at heart, because it'll really help you come opening morning, putting you in the right spot. So we're going to go on and look a little bit more. I've been looking for a while, but I've got another little piece down here I've not been to. I want to go check it out, see if I can find that shed, and see if that buck sheds down here, because I'd really like to find his sheds. But that's like finding a needle in a haystack. But anyway, it's a great piece of property. I'm looking forward to coming back in Ohio season and trying to kill a big gobbler here. And I got a feeling I will, because I know how to come in here without disturbing any of this, and I know kind of where to start. And I'm already way ahead of the game. So we'll see this place in May, in late season. Hey, make sure to subscribe to this channel. Just hit that subscribe button. We got a lot more great turkey hunting content for you in the weeks to come, and we're going to be starting our turkey season here in just a couple of days. I'm going to be leaving, headed down to Georgia, and then I'll be headed over to Alabama, and then Virginia turkey season opens up the next week, so I'll be going home for that. And then it just rolls on from there. So it's that time of year, and we're going to be bringing turkey hunts to you, so make sure to stay tuned to the channel here, and we're going to have more educational content just like this, because that's what really we're all about, is passing the knowledge. Also, check out DellOutdoors.com, where you can get my shirts and get information on Dell Outdoors there. Also join me on Patreon, where you can also support Dell Outdoors with a small monthly donation. It just helps us when our content gets demonetized due to the hunting content sometimes, and our videos get demonetized. So whatever you can give over on Patreon, which is, $2, $3, $4, $5 a month, that just helps us be able to keep bringing this content to you, and it just makes up for that loss. And we got a lot of things in the future planned, and so if you'd like to be a part of that, please go over to Patreon and just give a small tip. We'd really appreciate that as well. Also, check out springfevercustomcalls.com, where you can get all my signature series of calls, the old Sly calls, the Slate call, the Box call, and the Mouth calls, and all the other great calls there at springfevercustomcalls.com. Go make sure to check them out as well. And check out tidewee.com, where you can get all the great apparel like this Tidewee vest and the turkey vest, the turkey blinds. That is really great if you like to hunt out of blinds, boots, rangefinders, many great products over there at tidewee.com. And so we'd really appreciate if you go over there and check that and use the promo code Dale to get even an extra discount as well. And just check out all the links below on social media, Facebook, Instagram. Come like and follow me there. Just check us out, and we'll see you in the next video, and hopefully be rolling out to Georgia here to start our turkey season. So you stay tuned.